Hey, what is up, everybody? It is December 31st. First of all, check out the glute gains, okay? If you wonder where I've been building this. And I'm proud to say it. I've been building myself back up. If anybody is like me, it's been one heck of a year. God, like a little bit of notes of things I learned how to do this year. Some about PTSD and trauma responses, if you know, you know. Interesting to recap and see growth. And I think it's really important. I think we're so focused and it's fulfilling to see a before and an after. But the reality is sustainability, there is no after, there just is. So these are going to be kind of random, not holding my pee. Now you may say, how the heck have you gone through your entire life holding your urine? I'm a pro. I chalk it up to I grew up, and a lot of people do, grow up in a position where they feel like they can't take up space. And it really is sad to think of my younger self not even feeling like they could urinate. But that was a PTSD response, weirdly enough, for me, that I would try to hold my urine and wouldn't go immediately when I needed to. Something no one really talks about that is a trauma response, in my opinion. That is something that I've grown in. Using all the cabinets in my apartment, that's another one where my last place, I just moved, by the way. I'm still using moving boxes as a nightstand. No one tells you how long it takes to get furniture shipped in and stuff, but that's a whole nother story. But when I moved into my last place, I remember I hired a cleaner because I was just so busy with work and wanted somebody to just clean for a second. It was like an act of love and self-care for myself. It made me feel like a child again, like coming home and my bed was just made, and it wasn't made by me, it was made by somebody else. I remember one time I got back from the gym or something, and a few of my cabinets were just occupied finally. And I put two and two together, half of my cabinets in my kitchen, and it wasn't like I didn't need the space, right? I like cluttered stuff into one cabinet, whereas I could have, just utilized all the space because it was mine. But I was so used to being small, and even those crazy small ways, that I didn't even realize until somebody else utilized the space for me. Using up all the cabinets in my apartment was something I learned how to do this year. Not trying to make everything last forever. This is a big one for me, especially as someone who grew up being so disassociated, detached from my feelings and like how I actually feel in moments, and articulating that in the moment. I think I know and have a good grasp of how to people please my way through my entire life, because that was up until my 20-year mark. That's the way I lived my life. It's something I don't really struggle with any longer, but it's something that is easy for me to fall back into, especially if I care about a person enough. Then I'm like, oh, I can make it work. I can flip it and reverse it and, rework it, essentially, almost like fabric. But you're not fabric. There are some things that you just can't or shouldn't sacrifice if you want something long term. And not everything is meant to last forever. And trying to make anything last forever. Those are all trauma responses. Trying to make stuff last forever if it's not meant to be, if you're not being treated right, if you're in a situation where it just doesn't make sense, do yourself a favor and take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, you either abandon yourself or you abandon the relationship, and you cannot afford to lose yourself. That's partially why I'm building my butt back. That's partially why, I'm doing all the things I'm doing now. I really did lose myself, so to speak, but it's all part of the journey. Losing yourself, finding yourself, it's a circular thing. All of it goes hand in hand. And the more you try, again, to identify with these things, the more bland and just plain your life is. If every author didn't lose themselves, whether that be through creating a story or through writing their own monologue or whatever, if they didn't lose themselves, that would be so boring. Do you want to just be born and just be that same person your whole life? No. I think we hold such judgment and criticism to not only ourselves, but to other people for losing themselves or, maybe being on like a different path, but it's all part of everybody's journey. Not trying to make stuff last forever is something I just learned this year that I am so proud of. Listening to my smallest needs and giving them to myself. Actually, this morning, I was cranky. I've been cranky. I've been listening to myself, and like fueling my body is a really big therapeutic thing for me. It's really weird because when you don't listen to yourself for a long period of time on those things, whether that be what you want or, it doesn't have to be so crazy deep into like a bad, unhealthy headspace, but like you suppress those things, and it is crazy because you train your body to not send signals to your mind. Look back at like baby pictures of myself. Like think, would you want that baby version to deal with any of the things that you're putting yourself through? I started crying this morning because I'm like, I'm the biggest baby and I love myself and like I want to take care of this body, and I'm so sorry for for trying to mold it into things to be more easily accessible for others and to make stuff work for other people. It's like I am not somebody else's playground. I am not somebody else's vessel. I am my own and I belong to me. And I truly believe the easiest way, the best way to have any healthy, deep, meaningful relationships with anybody else is to have a deep, healthy, meaningful relationship with yourself. The problem I have with these 2022 highlights and everything like that is it's just not real. And I think we all know that, but like, I hate that it gets so many clicks. Like even just the fact that I could make a video showing my progress in the gym and mainly have it focused on my butt, and that would hit like, 1 million views if I did it properly and had it within an attention span. It just takes away so much nuance that I think is lacking in like, if you actually want to love yourself. Because it's so different, like hustling and bustling and grinding and getting your bag and, whatever, versus actually feeling at peace within yourself. And it's something I'm just now learning to do. And it's something that's very, very hard. And it's been a lot of tears, and especially in the gym, like pushing myself and reaching limits that I thought I couldn't achieve, and like being my own cheerleader and just like holding myself in times of sadness. It's just really beautiful, the relationship that you can have with yourself if you stop trying to run. And I think in return, your energy attracts others that are also in that same boat. Expressing emotions in the moment is something I definitely have a lot of hard time with. It's something where I get really, really scared because you never know people's reaction. Some of my primary caregivers growing up, it was a lot. Like, to have any emotions outside of things that made them feel comfortable would have been not only upsetting to these people, but would have been to my detriment in a lot of ways. So I learned to suppress and like pretend like things are okay. And so building up boundaries has been something that's been like very crucial in order for me to have healthy, happy relationships, whether that be the relationship I have first and foremost with myself, or, with other people. When you first start out, you're going to realize like, wow, I'm really like, I'm sensitive. And you notice your relationship with other people is also a mirror. So like if you're getting annoyed at other people for being sensitive, it's probably because you don't cater to your own needs and you also are sensitive. I think as humans, we all, if we're in tune with those things, we're all pretty sensitive. And so like, it's just whether you're detached from it or whether you're not. At times we are our harshest and meanest critic, and realizing and just approaching this next year, again, less rigidity, less being rigid with yourself, more radical acceptance and not trying to identify with one thing, and realizing that there's no end goal, end all be all. It just is approaching things with more curiosity and self-love and self-compassion, because the more self-love, compassion, etc. you have for yourself, the more you're going to be able to cultivate those things within your relationships and build a close-knit community, which is something I think that is severely lacking in our culture. And final point, wherever you go, there you are. If your mental isn't at peace, you'll be at war regardless of your circumstances.
And camera timed out, doesn't matter how many things you have, it's not gonna fill the void. Anyway, wishing everybody such a great new year. If you're watching, if you like this video, please give me a like. More of this commentary coming soon. And happy 2023! Peace and love and